This is a D-28 Marquis, and I really like Marquis. They have a 1 3/4 inch neck, which is just a wonderful neck, A really nice taper, nice V. One of my favorite Martin necks, compared next to like the D18 GE. Very comparable. Man, if I was going to have a 1 3/4 inch set, it'd be a GE and a Marquis. Waverly tuners. On this guitar, I did a bone nut. I did frets on this one. Yeah, I did 15 frets on it. The intonation was a little bit off, so I converted the saddle. It's a long drop-in saddle stock. I converted it to a true vintage saddle by filling in the slot, recutting it, and I cut it back about a half a saddle width, which is about as far as I could go because it's pushing pretty hard. Right there, you know, that's an acceptable break angle. That's a sharp break angle right there. It's still acceptable, but I couldn't go back any further. It would have been nice to go back just a hair more, but it's pretty good now. The intonation is, let's see. What's funny is just tiny hair sharp right there, but the E flat is dead on according to the tuner. The intonation up the neck really matters when you're doing stuff like this. That's a C chord, you know, up the neck. And I need all of those to be in tune. Okay, anyway, so I fixed the intonation, took the popsicle brace out, shaved the back braces down. I put antique acoustic bridge pins in here. I had ebony at first, and it still sounded a little bit raspy, just a little bit, you know. The problem with the guitar when it came in, he said there was some notes up here that buzzed, and I found a couple problems. It was hard to find buzzes, and it was just a nasty sound. What I found was a sympathetic rattle. Because I put new frets in. The old frets were flat topped and real nasty, so I put brand new frets in. Got the nut. The nut spacing was because I put new frets in, the nut was too low. So rather than shim it up or anything, I just made a new bone nut with good spacing on it. And it still afterwards, it still had a rasp to it. So I got to looking at everything. I found out that some of the tuner gears back here were just a little loose, and I don't know if that was causing the rattle or not. We could hear a very slight a pre-rattle. So when you hit it, it would go thonk, 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 like that. A pre-rattle, not an after rattle. And I got to get other people to help me with this. You know, a lot of times you can't hear it. It's crazy with rattles. I mean, I tell you this one story. We had a guitar that had a rattle, and I had a fiddle player, friend of mine who had really, really good ears, and I had her mom who had really, really good ears. They were standing in front of me, and they go, I don't hear any buzzes. The dad walks in. He's standing over here. He walks in, and the first thing he said, "What's that noise?" So I had him stay right there, and I had everybody else move over there, and then all of a sudden they heard the rattle. And it ended up being a loose, I think it had rotomatics on it at that time, and it ended up being a loose tuner button. No, it had solid back. One of these buttons right here was loose. So the player could hear it because his ear was right here, you see. The dad could hear it because he was standing over here. These guys couldn't hear it because they were out in front of me. So the point about the rattles and buzzes and all that is sometimes the audience can't hear him, and only the player can hear him. There's something going on to them. Another time, I was at Cotton Music in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was showing Kim, the part owner, this note right here. It's like the most awful note on most acoustic dreadnought. We went through almost every dreadnought in the shop, and once you listen and hear that deadness, you just fixate on it. In the matter of playing, it doesn't really come out. But once you get fixated on a buzz or a rattle or a dead note, that's all you focus on. And it doesn't show up in playing. Okay. So I tightened up a couple buttons here. I don't really think that was it. But what I found is it's got this end jack in it, which is a StewMac strap jack, I think they call it. And it's used to replace when you've had a pickup in here. And this guitar had a pickup in it at one time. The owner didn't even know that because he bought it used. He said, "There's no pickup in it." I said, "Yeah, but there was, because this is a 1/2-inch hole. This is a strap jack." Now, the way the strap jack works, it's got an inner sleeve, and then it has a modified end pin that goes inside that. It's got a screw that tightens it up. And so I was sitting here like this, and I was already turning this knob, or this pin. I was able to turn it with my fingers, and so it's loose. And when I finally pulled it out, and somebody had used glue and some other things, I pulled it out, had to get my pliers and twist it out and pull it out, and I found out that the screw was loose. So that may have been causing some of the issues there. After I tightened that, everything was nice. And man, it's a pain in the butt tightening these things because the screw's inside, so you've got to reach inside the guitar. So what I did was I got the right wrench. I'm not sure, 5mm, 4mm, I don't know. But an Allen wrench with a really long arm on it. You get them from Home Depot, Lowe's, all that kind of thing. I got that through the hole first. Then I hooked the strap button onto it and then pushed the whole thing back inside of it, because there's no way in the world I could hit that screw head inside the guitar, So I held it all together, pushed it in there, and then tightened it. And man, that takes some dexterity to not drop that wrench while you're trying to turn it. And I got it tight, and it actually pulled the strap button inside and pulled it flush. And it's tight now. I can't turn it. So I think that was part of the problem right there. Tricky thing. So this note sounds good. Everybody hears it. If you hit it hard, it'll still make some noise. But when we compared it to the 37 Authentic, you hear the same thing. So what you hear is just, again, a sympathetic vibration inside the guitar. And once you're fixated on a noise or a rattle or whatever, God, you can't get it out of your head. You've got to stop. You've got to compare it to other guitars. You've got to say, okay, that's just sound waves in the guitar. So I think this guitar plays great now. It's got a pretty low action, right around 90 thousandths of an inch, which is just 3/32, down to 80. It plays wonderful. So we're going to compare it to the 37 Authentic, just for fun and games. Okay? Here's the note